You are listening to These Walls Can Talk, a Hope Outdoor Gallery podcast.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of These Walls Can Talk. I am your co-host, Chris Scull, as well as my sister, Andy Scull, the founder of Hope Outdoor Gallery and Hope Campaign, and we are just excited to be sharing stories and tales from the walls as well as the creative community here in Austin and throughout the world. So we have a few special guests with us today, including a great artist I'm a huge fan of, Mila Sketch, in the building.
Woohoo! Mila Sketch here.
Yes, thank you. Glad you're here. As well as Julia Dixon, who is a wine professional and all things. What is the proper word, Andy?
Well, I mean, to me, Julia is a cultural curator.
Yes.
She's also Mila's manager.
Yes.
She's also, just a badass woman that puts together great parties and knows how to, make magic happen.
I love it. That's what I was going to say. Magic maker, party happener, all the things. So we're so proud and happy to have y'all here to share some stories and talk some smack and all the things that we do here at These Walls Can Talk. So thanks for being here.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Andy. We're happy to be here.
Yeah, and we are here at Ibble Studios. We are so grateful to be here. Ibble's been sponsoring our show since the inception, and a lot of great things going on here at Ibble.
Yeah, for sure. But definitely, having the opportunity to talk about all the different artists and creative friends and their journeys and stories throughout their artistic endeavors is what These Walls Can Talk is about. And I love that for whatever lucky reason, I feel like I got to be one of the first people that got to meet Mila when you came to Austin.
It was a funny story there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Of course.
Oh, no, that's exactly, as I said, that's what the show's for. The funny stuff.
So, I sent the email to Andy, who I am, and that I moved to Austin. And then...
And how long ago was that?
It was 2015. So, the end of 15. So, and finally, meeting with Andy at Hope Outdoor Gallery. And I'm very excited. And then I see the girl. Okay, where is Andy? I'm Andy. Oh, I thought Andy is the man. And Andy just looking at me. Okay.
Well, but before we could continue the final part of that, I get an email from Mila, and I'm looking at her website, I'm like, oh my God, how is this person contacted me? Like, this is one of the most talented artists I feel I've seen in my whole life. And I'm just in awe of the work that I'm looking at. And so I'm like, well, of course, however I can help, I'm happy to. That's what we love doing here in Austin. And so I'm like, why don't you just meet me at Hope Outdoor Gallery?
She was looking for some man. I don't know.
A man named Andy.
Yeah, and she showed up like with her whole portfolio and everything. Meanwhile, at the park, there's not even a bench to put it on. Like, we're just standing there. She's like, open. I'm like, okay. It's
Fun.
Yeah, and through this, we're also friends. And
Done
Andy,
some cool projects together.
Yeah, and Andy, one of the most biggest influencers on me in Austin. So
wow.
Huge inspiration from Andy.
Definitely.
Thank you. Well, and the same I feel with working with both of you, and that's how we all, grow, and that's what we talk about on this show, all the collaborations and, the weird things that end up happening when we're kind of encouraging each other to do different things than we normally do. Whether it's, I think, just another show, we're talking about an artist who then DJ'd a party, and
Right. Sharing different sides of their talent and their interests, So we had a friend that's normally a visual artist, painter, but like for another friend's show, he's been wanting to explore his musical side, so he guest DJ'd. And, just all the different layers that we all have as creatives, and to have the opportunity to share them in a safe place, but also in a matching vibe kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Austin is a special place for this.
Right?
Absolutely, yes.
And and for sure, I feel for both of your perspectives, that's really great to talk about, because some of us who've been here a long time, or, wherever you've lived, sometimes you take things for granted that you've seen the whole time, right?
We get asked that question quite a bit, like, why Austin, Texas? Why'd you pick this place? And honestly, we picked it without ever coming here before, and we wanted a platform that's fair in that sense for both of us. But we did a lot of research. Like, what does it do? Austin, what is it all about? Hospitality, art, people, what kinds of people here? So everything we discovered we loved, and that it has this outdoorsy vibe to it, and the river and cultural aspect. So we moved here and we never regret it. We still think it's the best place, and we've traveled so much after, obviously, we moved here, but we haven't found a better place. So we love Austin.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, and you both have already contributed so much since you got here in 2015. So yeah, let's share some of that. First, Julia, can you tell us a little bit more about actually your art, like what you do?
Well, my art is bringing creative people together and making an event that makes other people happy, and then they can open up.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about some of those dope house parties you guys put together.
Yes.
Not far from here, actually.
Yeah, the historic home.
Yeah.
A beautiful place.
Oh, God.
Especially before COVID, it was a big thing for us. Now we have to change the format, but let's not talk about this. Let's talk about what we can do.
We don't talk about pre-pandy.
Yes.
We keep calling it the Pandy.
Yeah.
So it was always fun to bring artists of different mediums and backgrounds together, whether it's culinary, music, performance art, visual art, of course, and put them in one space where they can do what they do best, but then enjoy it and bring other people joy. So that's what we did for a while.
The celebration of creativity.
Yeah, celebration of
One night.
Well, but
wine, food, music. We like different themes just because people can then sort of be transported in time even, or play, because we're all kids, deep inside, and we love to play and dress up and put hats on and have the opportunity to have good time and explore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but what you are particularly special at is wines and the pairing of wines and the knowledge of.
Yes, I'm a trained sommelier and a wine professional in many different programs. I studied throughout the years and worked in the industry. Over than 10 years at this point, and lately, last several years, I've been focusing on small producers of unconventional wines, because I feel like these guys need the most help. They don't usually have time to do marketing and advertising, and they don't have a lot of money to send a lot of wines for different ratings and reviews. So I think my passion here is to advocate for those producers, and by drinking them, showing them to other people, including them into events, sharing their agenda, their ideology, and I guess that's never going to change. Always, my heart is with small guys.
I am hoping that there's at least a story or two of some small producers of wine, because, I've had the pleasure of getting to sample and taste a lot with Julia, even this past weekend. And yeah, that's kind of, so many people don't know all that goes into behind, and even some of the wines you've shared with me, like even the way they're made, and what can go wrong.
I think a lot of things can go wrong in a wine production, but my favorite part about wine industry is that it's about human relations and meeting the producer, making this connection, and making the promise of support. So, for example, I like small producers, like I said, that make natural or unconventional wines. Some of my great friends is Crowson Wines. They're here in Johnson City. And it's really a family winery, so if you get a chance to stop by the tasting room and say hi, do that, because Henry, he's like a walk-in experience of wine and fun, and you'll never forget that tasting. Make sure you make an appointment because he likes to take a lot of time with everyone. So if you just walk in, you may be busy with someone else. So to experience him, make an appointment and just go do that. It's a lot of fun. It's only 40-minute drive from Austin.
Okay.
He makes
Croson
wine.
Croson Wines Family Winery.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go.
They just welcomed, I think, their 5th girl.
What?
So it's a big family, and
Wow, that's a lot of wine.
Exactly. And then, but we have friends,
Especially 5 girls. I'm sure that was just another girl.
Oh, we had to.
So many weddings.
We can have it here at the winery. What do they? I know in Texas, do they specialize in certain styles of wine because of the Texas climates?
So when we talk about Texas wine, it's important to highlight that making Texas-grown grapes into wine is not a must. It's always to make sure when you buy Texas wine, the grapes were grown in Texas, because the law allows otherwise. So I would encourage everyone to pay attention to this, because that's how you really support Texas wine growing as well. So in that term,
Are you saying that there's a lot of
imported juice?
imported?
And it can be sold like it can. The wine can come from California, Oregon, or South America, Latin America.
And then it's bottled here.
Bottled here, and it can still say Texas wine. And it's really confusing. And one thing I'm still and always going to fight for in wine is a transparency for the consumer. I think wine is the most untransparent product on the market. Even liquors, has more transparency. When you pick up that bottle of wine, as a consumer, you don't know what's inside. Really, you don't. And I'm for the transparency. I think if that's a producer who makes a good wine, it should be just few ingredients.
I don't want to look at the back and go like, oh, grapes. Okay.
But to answer your question, definitely red wine in Texas is best to be grown because it's warm. And for white wine, it's a little bit too warm. But if we talk about dessert wines that are made from white grapes, then it's also a wonderful place to be. So fortified wines, Texas wines are delicious, as well as red wines. And if you are, maybe it's too much inside, but when you're drinking Texas white wine, just know that it most likely 100% is acidified, which I'm not a big fan of.
I hope you're taking notes, Chris.
I was, but I
well, I mean, this is good, date conversation or
I'm gonna
any kind of
I'm all for it.
friend,
No, I'm always fascinated, and next time maybe we'll pop a bottle or two in here and talk and taste and spit and
I don't know
all
why
the things.
Normally when we get together, I feel like that's the perk. I'm like, in
Always.
fact, now I'm regretting that was part of my thinking. Oh yeah, let's have Julia with me because
Don't worry, no need to whine about it. We'll just kind of get that going.
See, that's yeah. I don't know if you guys are from that is part of Chris's
I
thing.
have bad jokes, but don't worry, they'll get better. I'm starting more low, and then we'll go higher. Yeah.
Okay, so I love being able to share or talk about things that even I know a little bit about. But so remind me again how you guys met.
So we met.
It's a long story, so
Make it short.
Bound to you.
So we met in Russia. We went to the same university years and years ago. I don't want to say how many because that would, be shocking for most people. Many years ago we met, and we were studying in the same university, but just different majors. And we're not close friends, just new acquaintances of each other. And then years later, about 10 years later or 8, thanks to social media, I saw post Mila was coming to San Francisco to do a group show there.
Yeah, 2014.
And I just felt like reaching out and inviting her to come visit me in Destin, Florida in October because it's a great time to visit, lots to do. Empty beach when you cannot swim, but at least. And most places are closed. But we had an amazing time. I had a lot of wine. And
That's the key.
It's a great place to visit. I thought, look at all these boxes of wine and no one to drink them with.
And then she came for 2 days, and after that, it was kind of over. We fell in love, and she was in New York, texted me before she flew back to Russia. She said, "Do you feel what I feel?" And I was like, "I think, yeah." So
You lovebirds. Dang it.
Mhm.
And then a year later, after I visited Mila in Russia, I just knew something needed to change. We had to be together somehow. I was hoping she can come here. And I asked her, and she said yes. So that was it.
Yep,
That's awesome.
I know.
Too sweet.
Well,
Oh, it's great.
and
It's a dessert wine story.
It is.
It's a little, which you can find here in Texas. Bet you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Johnson City.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's beautiful. And who was here in Austin first?
None
No
of
one.
us.
Oh, so you both went searching.
Yeah, we met
From
at
San
the
Francisco and Florida,
Orleans.
and then searching.
We met in New Orleans, which is like our romantic city.
Oh, I love New
A lot
Orleans.
of people probably have that as that spot of special city. We met there, spent a week, and moved to Austin together. And then I was a wine buyer for a big hospitality group in Austin for a while.
Mhm.
And Mila was an artist. As she is.
Yeah, I was working and working.
She
and
worked every
working.
day, like
What?
12 hours a day when I was at work. She would just
Yeah.
paint.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Julia just told me, do it. And
I
that's
told her,
all.
do what you love, like do what you're good at.
No, just do it.
Yeah, well, and fortunately, she's just, kind of good at all of it.
Yeah, and a
Um,
huge supporter. You.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Well, you both. I feel like you came in like immediately, and so yeah, let's hear more about you like becoming a full-time artist, and because am I right? I mean, you really started doing mural work when you got here.
Yeah, I created only one mural in Russia. So it was a gym for international boxer, female boxer. She's a world champion in a lightweight. So it was my first and not the greatest.
What was that? It's a lightweight.
Mm. Anyway,
How can
I'm
I
just
say in
kidding.
professional language?
No, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
So,
Jumping lightweight, but if somebody bigger comes in, they can still push her. So what's the point of being a champion?
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So, and
Obviously,
what?
there's some jealousy.
Yeah,
there.
and what I,
Oh, that's why.
Okay.
Well, we're talking about an ex.
Not really.
not
No,
jealous.
but I think
oh.
there was some, attraction there,
Oh,
okay.
mutual.
oh, stop.
Maybe.
I'm sure your parents are listening. It's okay.
Yeah.
With a Google Translator.
All right, yeah.
Oh yeah, you
So-
definitely. Oh, we'll have to
Yeah.
talk about that. But okay, so
And I discovered that in Austin, it's there a lot of attention to the walls, to the murals, and
Yes.
it's like a fun division. I would love to do it. And my first mural in Austin, I created in East Side, so on the East Cesar Chavez, present to Julia. It was a yellow wall with a huge mechanic heart, a special for Valentine's Day. I love you. So and then mechanic heart, and just you. And I presented it to Julia in the morning before her job, and she was just so not sleeping, just okay, that's cool. And I was just, this is for you, honey. Just like a real Austinite, just something cool.
she's
Well
like,
deserved.
this is how you've been spending your time. I thought you were at work.
And I just 3 days. I spent 3 days, 2 gallons of paint. So, but also a lot of attention from the road, and that's how I met our big supporter and also my art collector. Now he lives in Miami. So
Gerardo.
yeah, Geraldo, through this wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun too.
No, I love that. It's reminding me, the show, we call it These Walls Can Talk because of our second book and all the stories that were submitted. And the park was, the original one was the biggest marriage proposal site. And I've always discovered whenever I tell people that I follow that by saying, because no other place can say that. Like, I mean, besides maybe Paramount or like, but the number of people that were meeting artists, commissioning them, starting relationships with them, and then ending up commissioning them for stuff at their businesses or private collections. That is really the awesome part of Austin: public work, large scale work, mural work.
True platform,
Yeah.
for
Yeah, yeah.
artists.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents in Russia, they're always surprised. Why they do it? So you can put the wallpaper on the wall. Why they hired you?
Yeah, Mila's
just-
parents are so critical.
Yes.
Yeah.
No matter what she does, they always like, that's all.
Well,
Whatever project she gets, like, is that all? Is that what you're going to tell us?
Is that all? The whole wing of the airport? Is that all?
And then what's next?
No way.
yeah, which yeah.
That's
That-
reminiscent of
that's
some
real.
of our parental
Mila definitely
experiences.
has 13 walls at the airport. Is that what you said?
12.
12.
12. Yeah, yeah. That you can't miss. I mean,
Yeah.
totally creates the branding and look and.
Oh, they're huge. They're gorgeous. It's the first thing that travelers see. Our international airport is like, one of the most traveled now, as our city's so fast and growing. But it also shows like, hey, this is what Austin style is, as well as when you walk in. I've traveled a lot of airports, and none of them have that cultural creative style.
A little pro tip: next time you're at that airport, look for the augmented reality feature on those walls.
Is
That's-
that just new? Augmented reality?
Just
Yeah, it's just Mila Sketch app.
That's right.
It's a free download, and here we go.
You have your own
enjoy.
app?
Mhm.
Okay.
So
I need to get it. I'm sad I didn't get it before, but I'll get it down today.
and I think I remember that the piece I commissioned you, that I was so grateful. I couldn't even believe that was an option, that you were available. And you did this very special piece for me and my family. And that ended up being your first AR piece, right?
Yes. So the idea for augmented reality was born through your piece because of you, and again.
yeah. And actually, if you have the app, you can play with that piece and show it to your guests, and it's
Yes.
That's right.
yeah.
Well, it
And
was a while ago now.
Yeah, it was
And I
and
think for
also-
the kids, it's always
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
and also Andy's artwork was a part of the UNESCO art project.
Yeah,
At-
that's
at
what
Soundball.
inspired that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Totally. I do, but I remember more you guys' excitement to show and share with me, and that piece in my home. Again, is another example of this show. The amount of conversation and moments that I get to share with people, the creativity that went into it was I was supposed to be on for wood, and instead we talked about doing a family tree and the roots, and you picked all these. It's just this incredible piece to walk people through, which also I feel happens in your murals. Even though you have such incredible talent to do things on a very small scale.
Micro scale.
Yeah.
But
when you
So
take things
amazing.
to big scale,
Yeah.
I mean, I walked into a company, MadeBot, and then I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, and we went to Hops for Hope, and we met this artist there, Mila, and then we commissioned her to do your whole office.
and Hubs for Hope is another platform, right? That you guys give to artists, and it's more of like in the market format, where breweries come and it's a vending opportunity for artists. And first time Mila did it, she had a line of people like just standing there to buy her prints or whatever.
Yes, and
I was just
amazing.
impressed.
And also most of them from Instagram, and I would just wow,
But
real
also-
people.
The follower that Hope developed it, it's not just some people who want to come look at art. The people who want to support artists, work with them, buy their art, however they can support them, post about them. So that's really incredible too.
Oh, well, and I feel a lot of that's gone on in this city, whether it's been music or food, that it's still uh, experiencing like talent. That's the type of thing. As soon as you hear someone or you see, you're just like you taste. You're like, oh my God, what is that? Who is that? And that's just a big part. It's like, oh sure, here's a stage, but it's just however amazing you are, however great the wine is, you can't fake it.
Right.
That's true.
And like you said earlier, most of these are one night or one day experiences that won't happen again, at least in those combinations. You could leave with art or you could leave with a photo. But to have my favorite nights, culinary delights paired with intentional drinks, whether it's wine or beer, like on our Hops for Hope events. You can meet those artists. Hopefully the music component is really adding to this experience. I always call it like the feeling like you're walking into your own movie. And then whenever you recall that type of food or that artist, you remember that night specifically, and that might be the beginning of the journey with certain artists you love or certain music you love or food or wine, but you will remember that pinpoint date or that moment.
It's hitting all your senses.
All the
in a way.
senses. Yeah, that's that's something that's always magical.
Well, that reminds me of these events and I'd love for you guys to share, I guess, how that happened, how that group kind of came to you, because I got to experience these like incredible curated art, food, music, sensory experiences that these two ladies put together along with other people. But I mean, the joy, as you know, Chris, to walk into other people's stuff. When you
Just to be a patron or a guest instead of to produce it. Producing takes a lot. We obviously do it, but to just lay back and engulf it all is pretty awesome.
Well, originally it was an out-of-town group who moved its business to Austin and quickly understood that Austin is very special and you cannot just come in here and start doing your vision without integrating it with the community or not understanding the culture. And they got this quickly, and they came to me and they said, "Oh, we need help. We want to meet people, but we don't know how." And just inviting people to the restaurants or, going out to the bars, it's weird and it's boring, and we get so many people denying because no one has time. So what can we do? And I said, well, let's make an experience. Let's showcase what Austin has, and let's invite people to enjoy that. And then if that way you can meet all these other wonderful people, because that's also selective and inclusive at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be excluded in Austin.
Yeah.
It's a place of diversity and place for everyone to share their strength and beauty.
Right. Oh yeah. Which I think, also in the decades of being here, but also with the mentors that I've had, when we say inclusion, it even means someone who just moved here. That there's part of being community is still being open to, learning, and I think that's another reason why, just Austin being centrally located in America, I always talk about that, how, it's a quick flight to LA or a quick flight to New York or a quick flight to Miami.
London now too.
Yeah.
Direct.
Just its geographic location is badass.
If you go through the international terminal where a lot of Mila Sketch's work is, and then fly to London.
And you pull out your augmented reality app.
Oh, yeah.
And also you can find my artworks in London.
That's right.
You can. Oh right. Jeez. Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Keep
about.
breathing.
I know. Where's the wine, Julia?
Well,
Wow.
my question is when you're putting up large work, how long are you doing the work, especially if it's at another city and where it's large scale? I mean, it has you up there for a good amount of time, yeah?
As muralist, I can say it depends from their wall, of course. Brick, a stucco, or
The medium of the
the
wall.
medium outside, inside. So, Julia?
But average, I guess, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks. 4 weeks is standard to do a mural for Mila. It doesn't matter of the medium of the wall because usually the amount of detail is insane, and she
Yes.
likes it that way. And
Yeah. If I would love to put my signature on this wall, I will be very, very,
particular,
and also,
also hard on yourself and just
Critical?
crazy critical,
yes,
redoing
critical.
lines and
She's turning to the manager, translator, like, find the word.
she'll be like, "See this? It's see," and I look at it and I don't.
Yeah.
Looks fine. She goes, "It's terrible. Everyone gonna see it." I said, "I don't think so. No one's gonna." You're right. No one's gonna see it, but I know.
Well, okay, so I'm completely familiar with what you're talking about with your style because seeing it for me even. So when you won, gosh, what was it? The Austin. Now I'm looking at Julia. My buddy Andy had this car ride app, and you won to put a mural
the
up
mural, the
on the
bid.
side of Yard and Parlor.
Yeah, the Austin Howdy mural.
Yes.
For a while was
Yeah.
on 6th Street.
Yeah, a great spot, and I love the design. I love that it was a competition that you like won, or it was like a vote on or
And
something.
a homeless person stole your
Leather.
What happened?
Yeah. She had a letter there. She went, to get a snack, comes back, and it's gone. And she sees that homeless guy running away with that.
With the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
like,
small, but
Well,
still.
now I have to go to the store again. Well, he must have needed it.
And also, yeah,
They ran off with your ladder? Yeah.
I guess, like, as a
He
manager,
had somewhere to be.
Yeah.
Somewhere high up, I guess.
I guess a lot of artists who work outdoors can tell you many stories what that work comes with as far as distractions, from a lot of times it's homeless people, and not only in Austin, we had the same thing in Pennsylvania when, like, I don't know how funny it is, but it is funny now when I got attacked. I got attacked by this guy who lived on the street. He was just on his own world, and then, but he was pretty present with this wooden stick, just trying to hit my face. And,
he was almost naked too.
Yeah.
So it was.
and Mila was in the lift
Top or
and saw
bottom?
it.
Like,
Top.
okay.
Luckily, just top.
I mean,
Girls,
you never know.
barefoot.
Yeah.
You could have been
Yeah.
shirt, flip flops, and underwear.
waving it in the air, the stick,
Oh, okay.
Lordy.
So he was though. But, so it was funny. She was screaming like, "Turn around!" And I did, and I had something in my hand to protect my face. But I mean, it was just like out of nowhere. So I think for the artists who work outdoors, like most of us don't think of what kind of challenges they experience apart from like just the weather. And fun, of course, and joy, but there's some distractions that you cannot predict.
Tell about that Georgetown mural.
Oh yeah,
The first one.
yeah. She did a mural in Georgetown, Texas, and it's a very quiet community. Sort of, you can leave your wallet on the street and come back pick it up.
But not your ladder.
Or not your ladder.
Just kidding, that was Austin.
enough.
Or your
Yeah.
stick.
Your stick.
Sticks and ladders.
But they do have homeless people there who hang out by the library, but
It's only one in the city.
one homeless person, by the way, the only one back then.
Little different.
It's got a
Little different.
lockdown.
Yeah.
And
Anyone else shows up, it's like, no, I'm the token homeless person here.
This is my town.
That's my.
My
yeah.
town.
So the little detail, the Republican office across from the mural, like looking at it from the window
Gotcha.
while she's installing. So the only homeless guy came up to Mila and she made friends and put him on a lift and started to giving him ride up and down. And meanwhile, the Republicans called the police because they thought he made her do it.
Yeah.
And
Meanwhile, you're there like, one more time. Come on, one more time.
This is fun.
yeah. They both had a good time. I mean, and then police came and the Republicans came out pointing fingers and she had to let him down and
Super
said
protective.
it was fine.
Super protective.
Right, they're all, ma'am, are you okay? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
This is your hot blanket. So.
Yeah.
Aw.
Did you have vodka shots? You're like chinging, like, no, of course not.
Yeah.
can't share this information.
No, but that's. I think we forget how much, like, not just the creative side, but the action. When it's such a large scale, all the other efforts one needs to put into putting it together, and you have to, train yourself into those less fun parts. But maybe once it's a tool that you're accustomed to, maybe it is fun.
Mm-hmm.
So the Austin Howdy mural at their parlor and yard was my first and mural outside on this scale.
Your first
First
commercial,
and also outside, and I was really scared, and then just okay, let's do it. How we say in
scared?
Russia?
you have that feeling?
Yeah, a little. I can say it now.
Okay.
See, that's what
Yeah.
But it's
how
good.
We say, глаза боятся, руки делают?
In Russia, there's a saying: "Your eyes are afraid, but your hands are doing it."
Gotcha.
Okay.
So that's what
Love it.
she keeps
Yeah.
saying to herself. A lot of times, I guess, because a lot of mural projects, especially outside of Austin, you get the project, you have dimensions, create the sketch, and I'm talking Mila does that, of course, not me, but then we go to the site, and when you see the wall and how really big that wall is, it can be really intimidating, because one thing is rendering or digital sketch, and then when you actually see it, and when you see that surface is really bumpy and it's all break and it's 110 degrees outside, I mean, there have been a few times when she would have a breakdown even before starting it, because it's like, oh my God, how are we going to do it? Because usually it's a timeline too.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can just, on your leisurely or do it whenever you want. You got to do it, and you only have that many days.
Yeah.
So murals are hard, I guess, and a lot of people don't know that. When they're not artists themselves, they think murals is just something easy. For whatever reason, they think that, but it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I remember that mural at Holiday Inn in New Orleans.
Yeah.
The last 27 hours.
Oh yeah, that was
Sounds
something
like a
crazy.
movie. The last 27 hours.
Yeah, it was insane.
It already sounds amazing. And I know, I follow you all the time, and I'm remembering now seeing some reels or something from New Orleans a lot, which also I think for people listening, Austin interestingly has this cool relationship with New Orleans. I feel like a lot of people who live here, we travel a lot to New Orleans, go there. That's kind of a regular, hearing someone, we're going to New Orleans for the weekend.
And culinary cousins too. There's a lot with different chefs and different, styles of food, crawfish and all of that season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks from Louisiana that are here in Austin too.
Yeah, and we have a lot of cool fun with that, with like crawfish boils and so anyway, back to this 27 hours at the Holiday Inn.
Well, that had to do with the starting of pandemic. So Holiday Inn and opened a new location in a historical building, maritime building in French Quarter. So we went there and started working, and Mila was installing this wonderful mural that, by the way, now has a light show added to it. So look it up; it's really fun.
Wow.
It was a collaboration
3 minutes.
with the artist from Chicago who did a light show. But it's a side note. And then first week, Mila was working. I was helping her with things, and really busy as it can be in New Orleans, as you know. If you haven't been, check it out. It's a wild party city, day and night. And then suddenly they have an order to close the city and close all the restaurants, all the bars, because COVID came, and no one knew. It was March 2020, and no one knew what's going on, but everyone knew something serious is happening. And a lot of people were overreacting. So everything got closed, shut down, and tourists were asked to leave. And we didn't know if the project going to continue. We didn't know anything, but we just would work as nothing else was said otherwise. We had to move to Airbnb because our hotel also closed.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And in a matter of 2 days, the town from like this busy party city turned into the ghost town. Just, again, homeless people only, being hungry for money, hungry for food, because they used to feed from tourists, and us working away, just not knowing what's going to come.
Right.
And then suddenly they told us towards the end of the project that this hotel, even though it's not open, it has to close for even construction. And we had 1 day to finish. So Mila worked for 27 hours nonstop.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, only quick food breaks and bathroom breaks, that's all. She did not sleep 27 hours, and not just sitting watching TV, but like working on a really high pace.
Yeah.
And that was very intricate, so I couldn't help her. And it was just really, I was more worried for her, but I needed to sleep to drive back.
Yeah, with
So
all
it was
our
very
dogs.
intense. Yeah, we had all our dogs with us.
Oh my gosh.
it was-
And so who was responsible for the coffee making, or what did you feel that the adrenaline or the rush was
She
more
doesn't
kind of
drink
keeping you?
coffee, and
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and she doesn't really do anything that, no drugs, no coffee. She's boring that way. And then
We call it healthy boring.
oh yeah, healthy
low
Boring.
maintenance. Low maintenance.
And she
Yeah.
doesn't drink while working either.
Yeah, maybe one a bit.
I was yeah, a beer.
Only a beer if we're out thrift store shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
No,
and a
no,
lot of
We were just in Rockport this
Yeah.
weekend, so we had a good hang time.
the
Yeah.
Rockefeller
fun.
oysters saved me, I guess.
Yeah, she wanted
Tons of
oysters
it.
were her energetics. She was like, I
Yes.
want a dozen of oysters.
But did you have to bring it up on the lift? Like
and
oyster tray?
I had to illegally get them because restaurants were officially closed,
Yeah.
but they would still serve for cash.
Ah,
So
nice.
I would just go, and because they already
Wink,
knew our
wink.
faces, yeah, and like illegally buy oyster Rockefeller.
Can you put some
Secretly put them in my bag and deliver.
They're like opening the door. You're like passing them a.
one at a time? Did you have to pop them open yourself? They're like, "Here."
Well, no, they didn't.
I know.
But I don't know for how many days they were at some point. But I mean, we were still trying to support the local restaurants.
Yeah, we've talked to a lot of folks, but we hadn't really talked to friends who were not in their home city, like during when everything shut down. That's a whole different way of having to navigate, let alone finish a project. That's crazy. How do you feel? And Mila, as someone that's is very critical of your own work, how did you feel that after the 27 hours? How did you feel the piece finished?
Great, because the biggest critic is myself. So
Yes.
easy.
Okay, what do you usually say when you look at the finished wall? Usually,
I don't like
Sometimes-
it. Every time, I don't
No,
like
it's not what you usually say.
it.
You usually look at
Okay.
it and say,
That's not how
maybe
you talk.
what you say inside. I don't know, but
You know,
out loud you say different things.
This is true love. This is how you know when people like really love each other or really know each other. It's like, no, this is what it's like.
This is how you feel.
No,
No.
it's not what you said.
Let me tell you how you feel.
She made me feel that
I guess
way.
it depends.
Well, she always says, I don't know how I did it. How did I do it? I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what you usually say. Same you said about New Orleans when we went back.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which can be the same kind of mixture of like, not always, because you just can't believe that you got it done.
In that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a time frame.
I think
sure.
badasses don't always think that they're badasses. In other words, like people who are very talented are also very critical and many times very modest. At least, I see that in some of the things you're sharing because I'm a huge fan of what you make, and
Thank you, Chris.
I'm grateful. I have a trio of pieces of yours that are smaller sketches, but so finite detail in the images that are on there. And I look at it like it's in my home. I look at it almost every day and always see new portions of it because of how detailed it is.
They are some of his favorites.
Yeah. And I remember it's from a fundraiser poker tournament that I was grateful to. I was a part of it. There were a lot of people that were in the tournament.
Oh, don't be modest. You won.
No, I was, but it's poker, and I'm okay at poker. But like,
Chris is pretty good at poker.
I'm okay. But like, the way that the model of the poker tournament goes is there's the top 10 finishers
Yeah.
are.
It's a charity
get it.
format that Hope we've been doing for a while, and
Mhm.
I think like the other things we've been talking about, it's just been a nice way to bring people together
Yeah.
with different cultural aspects and things that they love. But for sure, I know
Yeah.
Chris has
I
a
got
few art pieces that he's won.
Wow.
I got third place, but the way the format is whoever gets first place chooses what they want, and whoever second place chooses, and etc. So there's a plethora of wonderful art and different styles and all that. And I remember I'm looking at third. I'm an indecisive person or slow. Like, don't go shopping for jeans with me. We'll be there forever. But yeah, never.
Don't do it.
Andy was like, "We're in the
our
car.
Castaway thrift
Get
store
the
in
freaking
Rockport.
jeans.
Fun.
We're in the car."
Insert Chris. Not fun.
No.
No.
But is this cool? Is this cool? No. So at that moment, like, I remember Andy going, you will kick yourself if you do not get that trio of Mila Sketch. And I looked and I was like, I understand. And now they're one of my treasured pieces of art. So
Thank you.
but it's been even more important. It's cool to just see the evolution with each project, with each year, with each like opportunity. Just like you said, with the piece you made inspired for Julia, it's like somebody drove by and the work led to the other work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, my small little thing. So,
Yeah.
Thank you
But
for
yeah.
This is
sharing
the
that.
journey,
oh yeah.
and also the huge motivation for me, and I guess any artist.
Yeah.
Well, what I've been curious. I mean, from the beginning, like more childhood times, you know, obviously you have your name, Mila Sketch. It obviously started from a sketch. Is there any story?
How we can share this?
Me talking again. Okay.
Even
got it.
even in my school, I put my name with two mistakes. So in one word. So this is the beginning. You can continue.
Well, a lot of it I know from not Mila but her mom,
Mm-hmm.
because Mila was too young to remember, I guess.
Yeah. I don't.
Because she didn't remember that, but her mom told me when they lived in north of Russia, Murmansk, which is located on Barents Sea, borders Finland and Norway, polar nights, like really, really deep north.
Mm-hmm.
There was a regular school and art school, not a lot of different options. And Mila wanted to go to art school. She was 6, and her parents said, no, you're going to regular school. But to enter art school, you have to do an exam, pass the merits. So they didn't let her go, but she went by herself. Didn't tell her parents.
How old?
She was
6.
At
6.
6?
What?
And then in the mail, they received a packet saying that she was accepted to art school, and her mom was like, what's this? You have to explain. And when did you go? Her mom is a very strict woman.
Well, and you were 6. Like, how did you get there?
Just walk
By bus.
by bus.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, Chris and I, like
They have similar experiences.
the immigrant story, there's a lot of differences like that, but still 6. You just got on the bus.
And yeah, I guess.
But it was a small town, too.
I just see little Mila with her sketch pad. And she's just determined.
And then
Reminds
when
me-
she was 8, her work was selected to be permanently placed in the Geographic Museum of Murmansk.
Yes.
At 8. Wow.
The name.
Landscape of the city.
Yeah, the name of the artwork stuck in the ice. So
It's called Stuck in the Ice. So she painted the little city. She likes urban landscapes.
no, the Atomahod. They're
Oh, it was the big
ship.
ship stuck in the ice, and then the city landscape.
mhm.
So it started early, and then she always knew, she said, right? You can
Mhm.
speak for yourself too.
yeah. I
Except,
always-
except when you tell me to speak for you.
Yeah,
yeah.
to be authorized.
You got all the money, so you can continue. So. Always.
It's Mila likes to say, Julie's my manager, and she gets 100%
Aw.
of what I make.
Yeah. So yeah, I always knew that I will be an artist, and so when I was a kid, my father read me the book, the diary of one genius, the Salvador Dali's book.
Yeah.
So about his experience, about his inspiration, and about his little fights, even with himself. So it was a huge inspiration for me, and that I was realized. So this is book not for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to Russia, when we were dating in 2014, I went to Russia and Mila took me to Murmansk, which is like a 9-hour flight from Moscow.
Not 9, 2. 2.
That's kind of a big
You were
jump.
sleeping on a flight.
Yeah.
We had to take 2 planes.
No, 1
From Moscow?
from Moscow. Yeah.
So wait, so from Austin,
So
you have to go to Houston or Dallas? Or can you go to Atlanta
Well, for me,
New
it
York?
was a longer flight than that.
yeah,
for
but
me, so
for
I had to
Julia,
fly
yes.
to Austin,
this.
from Destin, Florida back then, to Moscow, and then we flew to Murmansk.
Oh, yes.
All in the same day.
Yeah, if we're talking about the international flight, yes,
Yeah.
of course.
And then first thing she wanted to do there is to go to see her old art teacher and hoping that she's still alive.
Yes.
And she brought her portfolio
Nice.
with her because she wanted to show her what she's doing now. And it was really sweet. I didn't go in the apartment with her because it was their moment, but she was there for a while and they had good conversation, and she was, really old. I don't know how old was she.
90.
Oh, wow.
And she took interest in Mila's work. Mila said she
The
doesn't
meeting-
think she recognized her because years have passed, but she was grateful to see her old student coming in like that and carrying.
Yeah, our meeting was in her art studio. So she is still working, even in our days right now. So, yes, huge inspiration. And I saw, Julia took a picture of us, and I showed this picture to the second my art teacher, who was the student of this lady. So their generation connection.
The art teacher kicked you out of the class?
Yes. So it was my
The one that kicked you out of the class?
Yeah.
so, and I showed this picture to him, and he was, oh my God, she's absolutely the same. How old is she? I don't know, about 90 plus.
Well,
Wow.
So,
talk
yes.
about this guy, because you
Oh.
got kicked out of the class. And she
Yeah.
kept, yeah,
Yeah, so before I moved to America,
telling about bad behavior. She's
Yeah.
bad behaved.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
decided to
Give
close.
us the dirt, Mila.
So
What'd you do?
I mean,
What-
clearly, if she's getting on a bus at 6 years old and
So,
taking
yeah.
the
we
test,
want the Mila sketchy stories.
one of
Okay.
about the toilet or about the kitchen. So one of the funny stories, their craft room at their art school was with the huge ovens for the clay and pots, and we collected the sugar and put into the heat, and then the steam and actually came in a lot
A lot of smoke
Yeah, smoke. Yes.
you put sugar in the kilns?
Yes,
to make candy.
not candy.
No?
For the smoke. So for the smoke. And just close the door and go to the class. Again, continue to draw. And then,
Nothing going on here.
so, and of course, back in those days, so it's no,
Ventilation.
not a ventilation there.
No smoke alarms?
Yes,
Yeah.
no detectors.
Smoke detectors, yeah.
Yeah, no smoke detectors. And we were just sitting and drawing it, and then smoke is coming and it's coming. And then, the whole corridor is white. And then alarm, like alarm lady. Fire. And we were prepared because it was 2 floors
Yeah.
and huge
You had a ladder.
snow. No, not a ladder.
Huge snow outside.
I was screaming, open the window and jump. We just opened the window and jump
From
In
the
the
second
in the
snow.
snow.
In the snow.
And
Landed
it-
in a
yes.
safe snow.
Safe together, blah, blah, blah.
But you knew that you said it.
Yes, and it was a drama. But then they found out.
No candy.
Yeah, they found out.
Wow.
How'd they find
And-
out? Those hidden cameras.
No.
They probably found the
No
burnt
smoke alarms,
sugar.
but-
Yeah, sugar, just
Yeah.
what's this?
Yeah.
You too.
They knew who the trouble.
And actually, it was only first class of the art school.
First year, so you were
Yeah,
saying.
first year, yeah.
So you got kicked out?
No,
Okay.
Just
Not-
temporary.
Not yet.
Okay, so
yeah.
so
And
a
a couple
expel
stories on this,
or
yeah.
detention or something. Okay.
Just
If some kids are
mischievous.
listening, you're giving some bad tips
Yeah.
right now, you know?
Yeah.
Sugar in the oven.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it's smoke detectors right now.
Wow.
You remind me of this cartoon my kids love. It's even I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
She's just a mischievous little girl, and it's a Russian or Polish.
Masha and a bear? Or
Yes,
something?
that's it.
That's
Masha and the
Russian,
bear.
Yeah.
Masha and the bear. She's just little troublemaking, cute
Oh yeah.
little girl and her bear. And like the first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh no, we're not watching this."
Because giving them ideas.
Oh yeah.
So I have
So you're the inspiration for Masha and the bear.
So apparently this cartoon is based on Masha as a kid and a bear is a parent figure. It's teaching kids and parents connect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Except Masha is just constantly doing bad things, and the bear is just being patient,
Unbearable.
walking it. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
While Masha's in the Masha pit.
Yeah.
Masha Mafia.
Yeah. Just burning sugar, you know. Just wow. Well, okay. I mean, it sounds like we
Well,
need
I feel like folks that have personalities, even as a kid, to be brave enough to do that, they make brave steps later. Maybe more logical steps, but like you take courageous steps to do whatever you want to do, whatever you want to pursue, stuff like that.
I agree.
I think.
No, I do. And that's again why I feel like this show's been so fun, because talking about these things that kind of, and then, you know, things that you just, your brain, you know, sometimes, at least for me, I might be focused on something creative or a project and feel a little stressed out about it. And so then I'll end up going and doing something a little
Crazy.
uncharacteristic just because I need to just kind of take a break so I can come back to that. You know, that's part of the creative process too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to like go nuts, but I'm like, I just gotta like go do something different right now and just shift my whole reality so I can do a better job at this other thing. Right?
Agreed.
And sometimes that shit is fun.
Yeah. What outlets would any outlets that anyone does when they're just trying to
Well,
take it all?
I'd say Austin stuff like going wake surfing, or the city just happens to, for me at least, there's been interesting things that you can't necessarily do other places that you end up, you know, taking a creative break.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you mean?
Because on a small scale, I like just to take our dog, you know, for a long walk.
Mm-hmm.
But Mila likes to travel. That's her thing. Like, she says 3 months in Austin and then she's ready to travel.
Yeah.
She likes that environmental change. And then come
Julie's
back.
like,
It's
I'm
always
just going to
great.
go walk the dog.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to go scuba diving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Oh, I'd like to travel more. I think that would be amazing. And you know, pandemic times and stuff took a little longer. But even road trips or even hours away is something that is a great escape. Lately, been interested in going back to Enchanted Rock, which is only like an hour and 40 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so
Things
that's
like that.
I think that the Pandy helped bring up, you know, a lot of local traveling because none of us could go places. So even I started doing some staycations downtown with my kids,
Fun.
just so they could get out. So that's been a cool topic too for the show. Like, so Julia, I think maybe more for you. How did you cope with pandemic, being someone who organizes people getting together, literally to eat and drink and enjoy intimate time together?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what were you doing?
So we started to do different format classes. My good business partner, Daniel Kilada, with Vinovium Winery, we do some fun projects. Like we have a wine that we do together. And then obviously all these people who drink that wine.
Oh, right. Which Mila does all the labels for your
Yes.
wine.
Yeah, sketch
right?
wine.
It's called Sketch.
Sketch wine.
Yeah. And it's 100% Texas grape juice.
Yep.
Which is important. And it's made in Texas by Texas winemaker.
Mm-hmm.
and then all the people who drink the wines that we think are the best at the moment. Some are part of the wine club at Vinovim and some aren't. But just follow us and wines and whatever we're doing, just keeping up with things. We started to invite them for different educational classes on wine and food, and
All online or on Zoom or
Online,
like that? Yeah, yeah, okay. Nice.
so we did
nice.
lots of those things where we would talk about a wine region or a wine topic. Send them the wines that we were going to drink with them, and then suggest some food, and they either cook for that or do take out. And it was a lot of fun because people can meet online, but also share a meal and drink and learn something and keep it not too boring, but educational and fun.
Yeah.
So that was something that was great. And also during the pandemic, we did have a big project in Pennsylvania.
Allentown.
Allentown. We drove there with a lot of dogs.
Wow.
It was like the longest time I personally ever spent in a hotel, which was like 45 days.
Oh my gosh.
So so in Allentown, it's a cute town, but it's not very dog friendly. So you cannot get an Airbnb with dogs, but you can get a hotel. So we stayed for 30 days in a hotel while working on the installation, and then we took a week to travel there and a week to travel back. Kind of see more of the U.S., some places we haven't seen. Like we stopped in Homosassa in Florida, swim with manatee, and like did things that we usually would never have time to do. We checked out some really incredible places. St. Pete, the Imagine Museum in St. Pete is mind blowing. It's like one of my favorite museums.
Oh wow.
In the
And
world.
it's a contemporary glass museum, and I thought it was super boring. Something for like old people, vases, ashtrays. That's what I had, in my mind. And when we went in, it was some most incredible contemporary art, statues, things of art that I've never could imagine to see. And it's called Imagine.
I see what
Yeah,
you
we
did
spent
there.
there about 3 or 4 hours.
3 or 4 hours. It's not a big museum, but everything they have literally is amazing.
It's in
And
St.
then,
What
Pete.
it took
Same
3 to 4 hours to go through the whole museum.
which
Because
is a very
we-
small museum.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
yeah,
you
yeah.
spend time with every
Yeah.
thing they have. And then we went to Dali Museum, which was after that museum. The Dali Museum was kind of, really, I mean, just because it's not his best work there anyway.
Oh yeah.
It's a
I
beautiful
see.
building,
Mm-hmm.
and the hype is huge.
Yeah.
But if you just go to Dali first and then go to the Imagine Museum.
Yeah.
Ah, good tip. Good
They're
tip.
both in St. Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Then we may be going to Florida eventually to check out some art.
Yes.
Some
Yes.
stuff. Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be able to travel during that time, whether you had to drive or be, you adapt to whatever's going on. What size are the dogs on if they're surviving for 45 days in a hotel room or
So we had a
hotel?
French bulldog, Aziza, and Gerda, our pit bull.
Nice.
Yes. Well, like I mentioned earlier, this weekend we got to hang out all weekend together, and included were 3 incredible dogs, and Gerda was one of them. Which Chris has an awesome dog named Dilla, and I think that is also another cool thing about Austin. We're such a huge pet friendly city, and in fact, Austin Pets Alive is one of the top charities here, just because people love the animals so much. But it's a real reflection too, to me, of people's personalities. It just always ends up that way, like you meet someone, then you meet their dog, you're like, oh yeah, that's their dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Austin, people at the first say hello to your dog and then maybe to you. So
Yes, exactly.
That is so true, right? They just go, oh, but did you put you?
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Right. Oh, is this your dog? Oh, so true. Oh,
I'm trying to remember, regarding your artwork at the walls. Like, do you recall, any particular experience out there?
at our project at Hope,
Mm-hmm.
I guess
I know.
it was just a small part of the wall was slope, and no. The first one was city. I created in small garage in East Austin.
Mhm.
Yeah, with the Truth and Miles, and some of the guys been there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is the first wall. Yeah, I created for the whole
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that
And
the store Ninja Bus
Now it's
interior?
vinyl company.
Yeah.
I guess.
It was at the vinyl company for a while.
oh yes, right. No, we still. So it was part of Hops for Hope.
Mhm.
Yeah, because again, when we physically met in person for the first time at Hope Outdoor Gallery.
Gotcha.
But she had all this portfolio and really wasn't a muralist.
Mhm.
You know, she was just
Right.
this fine artist and details. And that's why it's been cool to watch you, like so many of the other artists that have been involved in the project, like just start to do all kinds of different things, you know, in addition to what you already were so talented at, you know, in terms of painting and kind of smaller pieces, just go bigger and bigger and bigger.
I guess just for the scale, what you said, and now like 2015 and in 2020, she's done over nearly 50 murals, like commercial murals at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and again,
Yeah.
I mean, even just
and more coming.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, we booked. And also the
yeah,
Austin art community is very friendly. And they just immediately invited me in the face of Andy and other just individual artists to just have fun with it. And I was super excited. And when on the journey, I was surprised that even with a project with the Mazda during South by, they just get me for this project and created the movie about me.
And
I
they
just
filmed at the outdoor gallery.
yes
oh right, right.
on the background. So and I was
Ah.
super excited and also surprised, especially from Russia. You know, no corruption, no even brothers.
Just a little
Somebody-
mischief. We didn't tell him about the sugar story.
Yeah. So and I was
But what was funny is that when they filmed Mila at the Hope Outdoor Gallery, you know, instead of like doing a mural there or pretending for the movie, she's there with her sketchbook, just like drawing something, surrounded by those walls.
Inspiration.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
actually,
'Cause
there-
back then she didn't do murals.
and the director just asked me, could you draw this big face? See on the wall? Could you draw it on your pattern? I just okay.
Just to make it seem like you did that
Yeah.
one. That's so funny. That's so funny. Well, I mean, so many things were filmed out there, whether it was bands popping up and doing music videos, or Discovery Channel came out and wanted to do an AR thing. And I remember I called Sloke to come do that. It was just, you know, a space where inspiration and creativity would also happen. And it was easy to film stuff there.
Yeah. Weather permitting, but most of the time it was just hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not rainy or
you have 2 minutes before you sweat.
right.
You know
Exactly.
something.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. Well, so a really special part of the show is we love hearing from our guests. You know, if you have a quote or a memory or something particular that you would have on a brick at the park that you would want to either have people remember you by, think about your work, or think about life on, you know, what would you put on this brick? And we've had all, I mean, everyone says something different, and it's really fun.
I mean, for me, I like this one saying, the quote does not belong to me. Of course, it belongs to a great female Russian poet. Her name is Anna Akhmatova. And in her poem, she said, "What you give is yours." And I think this phrase has a very deep meaning, and it can be related to anything in life. So that would be one for me.
I love that. No one's done that one yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be cool to
Well,
see
maybe
it.
you can do it. I mean,
Yeah, maybe
can I pay
stick
you?
something.
Or something. I mean,
Yeah, maybe.
bribe you.
Yeah, maybe Russian language.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm still working on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that it's so interesting watching you guys interact because oftentimes you're such a visual artist that I find you consistently turning to Julia like, pick a word for me. Like, how do you say this? Like,
Yeah, for me, it's the visual aspect, the picture, and then the words all to Julia.
I mean, she trusts me with reading her
Yeah.
mind.
Absolutely. We can.
And actually, we do that sometimes. A lot of times we talk to each other, without talking, because we did this whole year of long distance, and it was just something that we learned to do. And we often, I ask her by message, for example, should I pick that up from the store? She said, I was just thinking, and that's what I was just telling you to get that. So it was her thought that I translated. But sometimes it works otherwise. For example, she tells me, you think you told me that, but you really didn't. It was in your head and you forgot to tell me. And sometimes you have to, put in words.
Yeah.
So.
oh my God, dude, I love that. I mean, telepathy, that's definitely a big thing I felt came up during COVID or me looking more into. And so funny enough, of all the people on earth, for me, my brother and I have a little bit of that, which, so I've a pretty funny story. So when Chris was little, he got bacterial meningitis. He was supposed to be deaf, dumb, or blind, 18 months old. I mean, and so after that, everyone was very lenient with Chris, just in terms of him walking or talking, and so Chris sucked his thumb a lot, and
This one right here.
yeah,
This actual one.
yeah, and so he didn't really talk that well, but everyone said the only person who really understood him was me, and so they'd bring me. I was his translator, basically. He would be sitting there and trying to tell my mom something. She'd be like, "Oh, where's Andrea? Just Andrea. What is Chris trying to say?" And then I'd like, "Oh, he says he'll fuck his thumb if he wants to," because he would have to. I'll fuck my thumb if I want to.
And I did to this day.
And he did. He'll fuck his thumb if he wants to.
I don't want to go swimming.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to the pool that day.
Yeah. He wasn't always at a loss for words. He just didn't really want. He just didn't want to articulate it to you. I want to go swimming.
So cute.
I don't feel like swimming today.
I think I still feel that way at times.
Yeah.
The translation of having someone that understands you and not just can help you articulate what you want to communicate, but a lot of times understand how you're feeling and then kind of see it without even saying anything. It's like, I understand, because when you know someone very well, you can see the tendencies or feel something. Yeah.
I think the scale is bigger than we know, because we do it to someone we love and trust, and it's definitely easier to use that skill, but we can do it to anyone, really. Have you ever had that? You think of someone, a person appears a few days later, calls you.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, during the pandy, I was literally explaining to a bunch of other artists and friends that I call it true tooth. Like, basically, now we're all totally comfortable and understand the concept of Bluetooth. We don't even question, right? So imagine before, if someone told you, "Oh, here right now, just play music." Oh, this is talking to that. And that remote controls and things, these are things we understand. They're just talking to that.
When Tesla came up with all these ideas, and I mean, not the car Tesla, but Nikola Tesla, the scientist, a lot of people did not believe it and didn't want to explore that. It was too crazy for those times. And now we use it every day.
Oh, yeah, in every single thing around us. So to then now take that one step and say, yeah, so we talk to each other without talking.
Right.
We do it all the time. Animals do it. Nature does it,
But Tesla learned from nature. He learned from pigeons. He was in love with a pigeon who followed him around the cities he went, and even lived outside of his hotel room.
I never knew this story.
And it was the same pigeon, not just pigeons. It was a pigeon that was also in love with him. And then by studying that relationship, he understood a lot of what you just
Through
talked
the
about.
energy.
Through
yeah,
that
the
energy.
honing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I love this shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I never even knew that Tesla, he had to walk around a building 3 times before he would go in. The law
Probably
of
because-
369, probably for the pigeon.
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
I know. It's like making sure she could find him, which probably was true.
Was the pigeon holding like to shit just right near him?
Oh my God, no. That's
Okay.
no. You went to the far side.
Sorry.
It is a cartoon. There is a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for
Thank
real.
you for translating.
Yeah. See, I know. I speak Chris. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Well.
Oh. Well, geez. Yeah. Okay. So for sure. Thanks so much, you guys. I know
you.
first just
Thank
having
you.
you both available, it's not easy coordinating, especially people that are partners. So thanks for both being able to come today.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much
Thank
for
you.
having
Thank
us.
you.
It's been a true pleasure.
Yeah,
Oh,
family
yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thank you for fun.
And I wanted to remember, because I know I did think the one concept that you said in Russian, the idea of the fear in the eyes, but not in the hand. How does that go?
Your
again?
eyes are afraid or scared, but your hands are doing.
Yeah. I think whether or not you choose that on a brick or not,
That would be
that
a good one.
resonated.
Yeah.
That
That's-
resonated in me.
There
So,
you go.
Good point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It kind of goes with mine too. I'll fuck my phone if I want to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's still my hand and do the work. Whatever. Trying to get
I
it
don't want
there.
to go swimming.
I don't want to go swimming. Yeah. Well, thank you both for being here. I think we should be trying some Texas wines and other things together soon. I know I missed y'all's visit, but I would love to do that. Maybe we'll have you back and we'll bring some on board on that day.
Oh, we're definitely, yeah. There's nothing like having wine with Julia. And Mila, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll learn a lot. We'll pair it with some good food. And yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, our
Thank you
pleasure.
very much.
All right,
Let's-
everybody. That wraps it up for this episode of These Walls Can Talk. And yeah, you can find out more information about our awesome artists here and more dialogue to be coming up in the future. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. All right. Have a good one.
You have been listening to These Walls Can Talk, a Hope Outdoor Gallery podcast powered by Dropbox, Dachshund, and Ibble.